I think right off the start, what drew me to the character is, that he thinks he's doing the right thing in the world, but as you can see, he kind of loses his way a little bit, and he, it becomes a very intense sort of journey. I hate to say this with Aaron sitting right here, but towards villainy. So you get to sort of see this character, lose his way a bit, and still feeling like he's on the right side of justice, but falls into that gray area, and that's sort of what I'm most interested in my career is that human beings we're capable of a lot of different things.
Yeah, I guess you've just seen him move, right? He's we really wanted to work on Kraven needed to have a signature style in the way he fought, so he's very animalistic. He works from an impulse and intuition, which is why he might just bite your nose off. But you're right. Where does that darkness kind of come from? And you get to see a little bit of what his father is like. And these two boys have been brought up in that kind of toxic environment. And he sees what his father's like, this sort of power-hungry, greedy head Russian mafia, and he doesn't want any part of the business. So that's kind of what sets him on his path of becoming a vigilante. And like JC said, it's like a moral ambiguity. You don't know, you want to root for him, but at some point he's just taken things a little too far, and in some cases he's become far, far worse than his father. So
yeah, I mean, my job as a director, I think the most important thing you can do is choose the right person to play the role. It's a little awkward talking about this with him sitting right here, but it is, Aaron's ability. The two you mentioned it, the two most important things was this physical ability, which you've seen here, and I wanted that to be practical. I wanted it to be the real performer doing a lot of it. And then you also had to be able to stand there toe-to-toe with Russell Crowe and actually act, opposite one of the legends of our time as an actor. And to find someone that can do those two things, it's very rare. So, when I first met Aaron, he kind of walked into the room, and it was, sometimes it takes a little while, but in this instance, it was pretty instantaneous. And from that point on, it's a lot of fun to do this stuff. We had an amazing stunt coordinator who helped us design and do all that safely. But it's I don't know what it was like being. I like to say that in all my other movies, I used to do a lot of the things that I was asking my actors to do. In this one, I didn't do that at all.
And just to add, right at the beginning, the conversations JC and I had were really about how to bring this character to life, how to bring it off the page, and it was really about tone. And I'm a huge fan of JC's movies, and he's a talented director who understands how to complicated characters like this. Like if you see A Most Violent Year, and his other movies are just always gritty and down to earth and grounded, and the idea that he wanted to take this Marvel comic book character and sort of bring it to life in a real way really kind of captured, really got me excited. And so I knew we were going to do something unique and different, and I was ready to see something different. And so that's how this kind of came about. So it was a great collaboration and fun to be making it like this. Well, I think, there are parts of him that are really relatable, and I think his situation is that he's really caring and protective over his younger brother, and he wants to do. He never wants to put him in harm's way, and I guess ironically he kind of does, but and he feels guilt about that. And the interesting thing is, yes, he's a villain, but because you're getting the origin story here of kind of where does the birth of that begin, you really just get to understand who Sergei Kravenov is and how he becomes Kraven the Hunter. And it feels like there's an evolution to that and a journey to that, because obviously we'd love to take him beyond this, but I think in order to do that you need to understand and empathize. But he's incredibly charismatic and charming in many ways, and then on the flip side, he's absolutely terrifying and
I was about to say, there's certain elements of the character that you should not absolutely, but there is that core, I think it's in all of us, where it's a frustration sometimes that justice, is not always served, and this character's trying to take justice into his own hands, which is, I think, something that we shouldn't do, but it is a feeling in all of us sometimes that the world has this injustice in it, and we want to do something about that.